Why do you gotta do this to me? Put thousands of dollars into you. Put nice stuff in. Put the 5-speed in. Put a badass carburetor on you. And you kick a freeze plug and leave me stranded on the side of the highway. That's right, tubes. The 302 blew up. Yeah, I've spent probably a couple grand on this truck already. All new suspension, air compressor, carburetor stuff, putting the 5-speed in. Just, yeah. Well, driving it home the other night, it was doing fantastic, really. And out of nowhere, I just started smelling that sweet coolant smell. And sure enough, something blew. I think a freeze plug on this side. And the engine block popped. I don't know why. It wasn't running hot, and I've honestly had it hotter than it was the other night. And I've checked it, several times because I don't trust the factory gauge. This thing always runs at like 185, 190. So, yeah. Well, it ran hot after it lost coolant. Kitty. Yeah. What you doing? Come here. So, yeah. We were going to take this to the Gambler, but obviously now it needs a heart transplant. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this engine. It does crank. It did not when I pulled it over. Now it does because it's cooled off. It's definitely got some dead cylinders, unfortunately. So for right now, I'm going to park it right here. And at a later time, when we're ready, we will pull the motor, see if it's something we can rebuild, maybe bore it out, put some bigger pistons in it. Or we just get a 351 and build that. So, me and Dad are still going to do the Gambler, because I have one other truck. And originally I was thinking we were going to take this one, but I kind of wanted to take the junk truck because it's a little bit easier for me and my father to get in and out of. The air conditioning works. It also rides very nice and handles very well. This one doesn't ride too bad, but she's a little bit more of a bear to drive. But I do know it will get through some nasty stuff. Which one particular thing I haven't showed you guys yet, but well, you probably won't see it because I don't have video for it, and I'm not going to redo it. So yeah, we're going to take Betty to the Gambler. This has the 4-cylinder Cummins turbo diesel in it. It's been kind of my thing I've been known for. Yeah, we're going to take it, and I think at least this will get 20 miles a gallon. I've tested it several times. It will at least get 20 miles a gallon. The lowest I've got with it doing like 70 miles an hour on I-84 going to Idaho was maybe like 16, but that's still better than what the 302 will get. I think the 302 is actually doing pretty good. Probably better than 15 until it blew up. I've got some stuff I got to do to this truck here to get it ready. Primarily I need to change the front and rear oil out for the differentials because the rear is fully broken in now, and I'd like to change the oil, check the gears, check the bolts, make sure that's all good. Then the front, I want to change the oil on that because I haven't changed it since I geared it and put a limited slip differential in it. Now there's also something else I got to take care of too. So I had a tire blowout and I also lost a wheel at the same time and messed up my fender and everything, so I gotta kind of fix on that. So I've got to get another wheel. I'm actually gonna call the tire shop right now and have them order a wheel. I bought replacement certificates for these tires, so I'm kind of hoping that they'll just replace all 4, and then I just pay for like the tire or the wheel and the mount and balance. which I'd rather do that than having to spend $1,000 in tires. So we got that. This truck already has sound system, CB radio installed. I do need to put my antenna in. I do have lights in the canopy. That's something else I was happening to do with this other one. I don't have onboard air with this one like I do the junk truck, but I do have at least my big slime air compressor. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to do, just some maintenance stuff. We need to adjust the valves in the Cummins. I just changed the oil on it not too long ago, so I think that's fine. Well, change the transmission fluid. Make sure we don't have any chunks, because that was pretty hard on the transmission. And we want to make sure that we have, decent transfer case fluid. I do have a very noisy front drive shaft. I'm actually thinking about taking this one out and sending it in and having it lengthened. Yeah, so. And we may even put in my Bronco transfer case that I have sitting in the garage, and it's pretty much ready to go. So we might do some drive shaft stuff with this before we take it on the Gambler, which I would feel feel a little bit better about doing. I will say, I did get to try out my fancy new strap my friend made me. Best 40 bucks I ever spent. Yep. Yes. I don't know, blown away. I have exploded probably 3 transmissions, 2 automatics, 1 manual, and then that manual that I blew up is actually rebuilt in this one right now. And now I have blown up 1 engine. Pull it. It started. It does have an exhaust leak. I don't know if I trust it though. It is missing a little bit more than it was. Yeah. Well, I guess it's not totally dead, and I guess I'll be able to move it, so that's good. Yeah, okay. Not totally dead, but it doesn't sound all that great. Unfortunately, there is still that freeze plug that's completely blown up. Now, I did notice while putting the 5-speed in this, it had freeze plugs that you would normally find on a Reman engine, and they have like a little, like basically solder in them or whatever, so if they heat up a certain amount, like if you get it too hot, they pop, and that's kind of like your oh, you avoided your warranty kind of deal. I wonder if maybe one of those decided to let go, because like I said, this thing wasn't running hot at all. Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but I do know the old 4BT back over here now, out front. The old 4BT, we'll get a new wheel on it, some new tires, hopefully new tires. Like I said, I'm hoping they'll be able to just go ahead and replace them all since they're kind of old. One's got a plug, one's shredded in the back. We'll get that taken care of, fix our bed a little bit, and put some put the fender flare back on. I think I've got some new backup lights I'm gonna put on it, and a few other things. We'll get to that. But yeah, we're gonna take Betty. I think Betty's actually gonna do pretty good, considering that truck really. I mean, that 4BT, it's so reliable. I can pass any fuel station. I don't have to stop at every single one, so I think we're just gonna have to take old Betty. So I'm gonna go make a phone call, get that wheel on order, and see if I can have them replace my tires with those certificates. And if I'm lucky, I'll have 4 brand new BFGs, which is not really what I was wanting to go to. I was wanting to go to a mud tire, but I think for what we're doing, the BFGs will be fine. So yeah, so be it. Anyways, gotta go tubes.